show the transformative potential of when we merge human ingenuity and imagination and creativity with the scalable power of computers and technology. And that is the perfect way to segue into our very special presentation this morning on the cutting edge of art, technology, and social change. We're going to be diving deep into the aesthetics of machine intelligence, public art, data, sculpture, and painting, and the dynamic realm of decentralized art and open data. Our guide on this journey will be none other than Sean Moss-Pultz, the co-founder of Ferophile and the founder of Bitmark. Sean is one of the earliest pioneers venturing at the intersection of art and blockchain technology, and now operates one of the world's leading digital art galleries. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Sean Moss-Pultz.
All right. That was a lot of fun, Vanessa, seeing the avatar of you. Let me share a little bit about myself. I actually stumbled into this space, the intersection of art and technology, but it goes all the way back from when I was extremely young. So I grew up with the internet, put myself through university by designing things on the web. And the people next to me were all artists. They were all working with this technology. But that first wave, the 90s, it sort of went up for a bit and died down. I want to share with you what I think is the next era in art. This is really, really amazing what's happening. I started Bitmark in 2014, and this was just after I started to get obsessed with Bitcoin and this technology that later became known as blockchain. At the time, I thought that digital money was for sure the future, and if a digital money would be in the future, then we would need digital property. Property and money, they always go together. So I wanted to start a company to make digital property rights. So you could own digital things, and there would be a decentralized registry for everyone to be able to be clear on who has what and what rights were associated with it. I thought the first use case would be art. So all the way back to kind of my childhood and my friends who are artists. So I brought in a very good friend of mine who's the head of UCLA, the art department. He himself is an artist. And we went together to Sotheby's and Christie's. This was back in 2015. And they laughed at us. They said, this is not art, this is screensavers. It will never work. So, interesting thing happened, as history would do. We were working on all different types of projects, music rights, health data IP, and in 2020, when COVID came, UCLA was locked down, and my friend Casey, he asked me, hey, would you want to make an online art gallery together? He wanted to create opportunities for artists, because the artists at that time, the museums were closed, the galleries were closed, and I said, yeah, this sounds like a great opportunity. I want to show you one of the artworks that we helped produce with MoMA. So this artwork is actually a collaboration of MoMA, an artist named Rafiq Anadol, who was a student of my friend Casey Reese, and a machine. So Rafiq calls this the hallucinations of a machine. The way this artwork was created was MoMA opened up 150 years of contemporary art, modern and contemporary art. Rafik trained a model on about 150,000 images and videos, and made another neural network called a GAN, and the GAN tries to create artworks that, statistically speaking, should be in MoMA but are not. So you could think of this as like these are hallucinations. Yesterday in the panel, people were complaining about hallucinations. The artists are embracing these hallucinations as part of the future. About a year ago, MoMA decided that they wanted to install this artwork in the lobby of their museum. And the original plan was to put it there for only 1 month. The audience, the visitors, so many visitors came that MoMA kept extending it 4 times. And just a few days ago, they announced that they actually acquired this artwork. This is the first NFT inside the MoMA. I want to show you a few more artworks so you can get a sense of just the range of what's happening here. So this is an artwork from an artist that I think is one of the most talented programmers I've ever met. This is a biosim. Every time it's different. I had to record this because I really wanted to show you the way the software runs. This artwork is actually a particle simulation. So this person, his understanding of physics and how particles can move and form and flow is just, it's mind-boggling. Now, the entire art that I showed you, that code is written in 32 kilobytes of code. So if you go all the way back to like the era where we had floppy disks, you could put 100 of these on one floppy disk. Just unbelievable code. NASA actually thinks so too. So NASA has worked with this person. This is another artwork. And this artwork has really pioneered a new form of art that now we call long-form generative art. So this artist, Tyler Hobbs, his formal training is computer science. He's a computer scientist. But he actually has just an unbelievable control of color. And his inventiveness of the space of color is incredible. So this artwork is created using a flow field. So these are things you would find in physics, magnetic fields, quantum fields. And he's then mapping colors onto it. And these colors, they have a range. They're probabilistic. Okay? And what I think is so amazing about this artwork is actually he was able, from one algorithm, to create 1,000 artworks, each of these artworks being unique. And people don't know this. People still think of this space as incredibly small, but this artwork actually did over $100 million in volume. So this is rivaling some of the top contemporary art right now. But again, people don't know this. People don't actually understand what's going on. If you use Google as kind of your bellwether for what's happening in this space right now, well, you'll get pretty depressed. Like you'll think NFTs, they're all dead. Everything here is just on its way down. I want to help you to see that NFTs actually are the future, that where we are right now is in a time period very similar to after the dot-com crash. We had a huge boom and we had a really big bust. My perspective is that we are actually also entering a new age of computing. So we went from mainframes to the personal computer, and then cloud computing. And as everybody knows, when you put computers into the cloud, somebody else controls them. You're just using someone else's computer. So I want you to think of a blockchain as a computer that's in the cloud, that's secure, everyone can use it. And I want you to think of programs, computer programs that you run, as smart contracts. And these smart contracts, these handle data, and they handle things that we think of as assets digitally. So these are what NFTs are. This is one of my favorite artworks. So this is an artwork. He's a Dutch artist. And what he did was to actually use the blockchain as a computer to make an artwork that changes randomly over time. So every time you see it, it's different. And it's different based on what's happening in this computer that the whole world is sharing. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of this museum, but this is a very famous museum in Amsterdam. And that, of course, is the Piet Mondrian. And they put this artwork next to the Mondrian. And I really think that this is actually, like, this is where it belongs. What we're seeing in art is this almost like evolution of being more and more portable. So the original art, if you go all the way back, was cave paintings, Sistine chapels. It was almost part of the architecture. Then we got to oil and canvas. And now what we're seeing is truly borderless art. Everyone, everywhere can experience this art. But what we're also seeing is art and science reuniting. Of course, the most canonical example is Leonardo da Vinci, but this goes back for centuries. The artists and scientists were like two sides of the same coin. They're both trying to explore new knowledge, search for truth in different ways. Paula, who I've got to know quite well, she's one of the senior curators at MoMA. She likes to say that you should support artists because they are society's R&D. This quote really left a huge impact on me. And after we worked on the artwork with her and the artist Rafiq, we wanted to work on something else after that because we felt that the public still just doesn't really understand what's happening here. They still think of NFTs as apes. They still think of this whole space as a scam. But MoMA thinks of this as the future. So we had an idea to create a postcard, a digital postcard. Okay? I want to show you how this works. So you design a postcard, and it uses MoMA's color palette. It's a pixel, sort of really fun, kind of retro design. You sign it, you stamp it. So the stamping, it actually is recording this into the blockchain, so it gives you back your own token. It gives you back an NFT. And then you can send it to someone. And one postcard can have up to 15 different people that create stamps. We invited 15 artists that are, MoMA believes, the top artists in this space experimenting with this technology. And we invited them to make their own postcards. So 15 artists created 15 postcards just to show sort of what was possible with this technology. And they each created a prompt for each other. And they got together to make these postcards. This is just in the process now of being announced. And in about 2 weeks' time, or 3 weeks' time, MoMA is going to go public with this. And we believe this is an effort to be able to help engage the public so they understand what's happening here, not at a buzzword level or a trendy level, but actually, when you make this postcard, you're interacting with a blockchain. You're co-creating an artwork, and you get back yourself an NFT. I've gotten permission to be able to let you guys try. So please give this a try. When you scan this, you'll be able to mint a postcard. It will download Autonomy, which is this software that we worked on for helping people to collect digital art. It'll mint the postcard, and then you'll be able to send it with 15 people. There's a leaderboard. We'll introduce some fun things, and there'll be a contest of who can send the postcard around the world the furthest, just for fun. In the future, there'll also be some merchandise, tote bags, things that get unlocked where you can print your postcard. Great. Earlier this year, I was really struggling. The institutions were beginning to collect this artwork. So they were beginning to acquire the artwork that we have helped to co-produce, helped to create. But collectors in this space just weren't coming. Okay? And I was really confused by this. How is it that the MoMA sees this as the future, but contemporary art collectors see this as crap? They're like, this can't possibly work. And I read a book called Picasso's War. It's the story of how modern art came to America, but actually it's the story of how MoMA was created. And this story gave me courage because the story said that it took almost 40 years when the Picassos and the Van Goghs first came to America, people hated them. They thought this was degenerate art, that this will never work. And it took almost 40 years for MoMA as an institution to be able to form, for the public to be able to accept modern art. And I was very inspired by that. And that's actually what I want to do. I want to help the public to be able to accept this digital art as the next iteration of what is just known as art, something we've been creating for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So if this is interesting to you, I would love to work with you to help to shape the future of this space. Please contact me. That's the end.